Few people realized that World War II wasn't only fought on land, at sea, or in the skies. There was another battlefield, one that no soldier could see, no tank could cross, and no bullet could hit. It was a silent war of signals, frequencies, and deception. This was the invisible battle, the birth of electronic warfare. While millions fought with weapons and courage, scientists and engineers fought with waves and wires. They discovered that victory could come not only from firepower, but from the mastery of the electromagnetic spectrum, the invisible realm of radio and radar. So, what exactly was electronic warfare, or EW? In simple terms, it was the use of radio and electromagnetic energy to detect, disrupt, or deceive the enemy. It turned the airwaves into a new kind of weapon, one that could see beyond the horizon, jam enemy communications, or make entire fleets vanish from radar screens. During the war, the race to control this invisible battlefield became one of the most secret and decisive struggles of the 20th century. From radar towers on the cliffs of Britain to hidden decoding centers deep underground, the outcome of entire campaigns depended on which side could see and which side could be blinded. This is the untold story of how electronic warfare changed World War II, forever transforming the way humans fight, communicate, and survive in war. At the dawn of World War II, nations realized that one of their greatest challenges wasn't just fighting the enemy, it was seeing the enemy first. In an age before satellites and digital tracking, the ability to detect an incoming bomber hours before it arrived could mean the difference between victory and destruction. That's when a revolutionary invention changed everything: radar. The all-seeing eye of modern warfare. In Britain, scientists under Sir Robert Watson-Watt developed the Chain Home System, a network of massive radar towers stretching along the coast. These towers could detect enemy aircraft over 100 miles away, long before they reached British airspace. When German bombers crossed the Channel during the Battle of Britain, it was radar that gave the Royal Air Force the precious minutes needed to scramble fighters and prepare defenses. Without radar, the skies over London might have fallen silent forever. With it, Britain turned defense into strategy, fighting smarter, not just harder. But Germany wasn't blind. They too developed their own radar technology, systems like Freya and Wurzburg, forming a sophisticated night defense network known as the Chem-Huber line. These radars guided German night fighters with deadly precision, intercepting Allied bombers in the darkness over Europe. It became a chess match of invisible eyes, each side scanning, tracking, and countering the other through invisible waves. Radar had transformed warfare into a game of signals and deception, where knowledge, not just firepower, ruled the battlefield. Once radar entered the war, both sides quickly learned a painful truth: if you could see your enemy could see you. The invisible battlefield was no longer about who had radar, but who could blind it first. This gave birth to the next great leap in electronic warfare: jamming and deception, a silent duel fought with waves, noise, and trickery. One of the most ingenious weapons of this new war was something deceptively simple: window, also known as chaff. The British discovered that by dropping thousands of thin aluminum strips from bombers, they could create a storm of false echoes on German radar screens. To the defenders below, it looked like hundreds of planes approaching from every direction. In reality, only a few bombers were real, and they slipped through untouched. During the bombing of Hamburg in 1943, this tactic overwhelmed the German Chem-Huber line. For the first time, Allied bombers could reach their targets with minimal losses, while German radar operators stared helplessly at blinding clouds of fake signals. But the war on the airwaves didn't stop there. It evolved into what historians now call the Battle of the Beams. The Germans had created sophisticated radio navigation systems, Knickebein, X-Gerät, and Y-Gerät, to guide their bombers across the night sky toward precise targets in Britain. Beams of radio waves acted like invisible highways leading directly to cities like Coventry or London. However, British scientists and intelligence units struck back with brilliant countermeasures. They developed devices and operations such as bromide, mandrel, and domino to jam, distort, or even fake the German beams. Some transmitters sent out stronger false signals, leading enemy bombers astray, sometimes hundreds of miles off course. By 1943, the Royal Air Force had even formed a specialized unit, No. 100 Group, the world's first electronic warfare squadron. These crews flew night missions not to drop bombs, but to disrupt, deceive, and confuse, attacking the enemy's mind and machines instead of their cities. It was a war without bullets. Yet every signal, every flicker on a radar screen, could change the course of a battle. The age of the silent attack had begun, and it was only growing more powerful. While the skies raged with radar and deception, another invisible war was being fought beneath the waves and across the continents. The Battle of the Atlantic, the longest continuous campaign of World War II, became a brutal test of technology, patience, and signal warfare. For years, German U-boats hunted Allied convoys in the cold, dark waters of the Atlantic, cutting vital supply lines between America and Britain. But soon, the hunters became the hunted, thanks to the power of radio detection. The Allies developed a breakthrough system called Huff-Duff, short for high-frequency direction finding. This technology allowed operators to locate a U-boat's position simply by tracing its radio transmissions. Each time a German submarine sent a message back to headquarters, Huff-Duff could triangulate its signal within seconds. Suddenly, what was once an invisible predator became a glowing target on Allied maps. Convoys could change course, aircraft could strike, and entire wolf packs of U-boats were ambushed before they even knew they'd been discovered. But the real secret weapon behind this success was intelligence, signals intelligence, or SIGINT. Hidden deep within Bletchley Park, a team of mathematicians, linguists, and codebreakers worked tirelessly to crack the German Enigma code. Their success, known as Ultra, revealed enemy communications, convoy routes, and even naval strategies. It wasn't just a victory of machines, but of minds on land. The same principles of electronic warfare reshaped battles across Europe and North Africa. Armies began using radio jammers to disrupt enemy communications, confusing frontline commands and delaying reinforcements. Entire offensives could falter if radio links were cut or deceived. By 1944, it was clear, controlling the electromagnetic spectrum meant controlling the pace of war itself. The oceans, the skies, and the battlefields were all connected by invisible threads of energy, and whoever mastered them held the true advantage. By 1944, the Allies had learned that winning a war wasn't just about overpowering the enemy, it was about outsmarting them. And nowhere was that more evident than in the greatest military deception of the 20th century, Operation Fortitude. As the Allies prepared for the D-Day invasion, they knew that if the Germans guessed where the attack would land, the entire operation could end in disaster. So they decided to fight not with bombs or bullets, but with illusions, using every tool of electronic warfare. The Allies created a massive fake invasion aimed at Pas-de-Calais, far from the real landing zone in Normandy. They filled the airwaves with false radio chatter, fake commands, and scripted transmissions from phantom divisions. Inflatable tanks, wooden aircraft, and dummy landing craft were staged along the English coast, but the most crucial part was invisible, special. Aircraft and ships equipped with electronic jammers and signal transmitters mimicked the radar signature of an enormous invasion fleet heading for Calais. On German radar screens, the deception was complete. Hundreds of ghost vessels appeared to be crossing the channel, while the real invasion force was already on its way to Normandy. By the time the Germans realized the truth, it was too late. The beaches of Normandy had been breached. and the liberation of Western Europe had begun. The success of D-Day wasn't only built on bravery and blood. It was built on mastery of the invisible. The electromagnetic battlefield had delivered one of the most decisive victories in human history. World War II is remembered for its tanks, its aircraft, and its heroes, but behind every victory was an unseen struggle, fought in silence and secrecy. The war of signals, deception, and discovery changed everything we know about modern combat. Electronic warfare saved countless lives, shortened the conflict, and reshaped the future of technology. From the early radar towers of Britain to the decoding rooms of Bletchley Park, it proved that knowledge, innovation, and timing could be as deadly as any weapon. But its legacy didn't end in 1945. The invisible battlefield it created became the foundation of today's defense. Science, from radar and satellites to cyber, warfare and electronic countermeasures. Every modern conflict, every stealth aircraft, every encrypted transmission owes its existence to those first pioneers of the electromagnetic war. The soldiers of this hidden front may never have fired a shot, yet their work decided the outcome of battles and the fate of nations. So next time you hear about stealth fighters, signal jammers, or cyber defense, remember, it all began with the invisible war that changed World War II. If you enjoyed this story, leave a comment, share it, and subscribe for upcoming deep dives into the secret technologies that shaped our world, from the H-2S radar to the Huff-Duff system and beyond.